Hello, and welcome back for another adventure in the cookie jar. Today we are doing the 15th recipe from Key Lime Pie Murder. It is the last one of this book. It is called Ruby's Deep Fried Candy Bars. These two and that one. So I have to do them on a pot on the stove because a couple years back, when I needed to replace my deep fryer, I replaced it with an air fryer. So I don't actually have one of those to use. But it does specifically say you can use a heavy pan on the stove to deep fry these sinful treats as long as you have a reliable deep frying thermometer. If you do this, you'll have to keep a sharp eye on the temperature of the oil. It should remain at a fairly consistent 375 degrees. A deep fryer that regulates its own temperature is really preferable, but you don't have to run out and buy one. Just try this recipe. If you use the deep fryer, do not use the basket. The battered candy bars will stick to it and you'll never get them loose. So we will be doing that method, and fingers crossed it works out well for us. I am not most adept at deep frying things, so this could be an ooey gooey mess, but I'm sure it'll still taste fine. All right. So you're going to need oil for deep frying. I used canola, 6 or more sorted chocolate covered candy bars. Milky Way, Snickers, Mars bars, or Almond Joy work well. You can use regular sized candy bars, approximately 2 ounces, or the miniatures you buy in a bag to give out at Halloween. Ruby uses the regular size. If you choose to use the miniatures, they won't take as long to fry as the larger size. It says buy the candy bars before you intend to make these and chill them in the wrappers in your refrigerator overnight. I misread that. I have been sticking them in my freezer since I bought them. So you might want to put this out of the freezer. It says an hour and a half before you want to serve, mix up the batter from the following ingredients: 1 2/3 cup all-purpose flour not sifted, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 3/4 teaspoon of baking soda, 1/2 teaspoon of cream of tartar, 2 tablespoons white granulated sugar, 1 egg, and 1 whole cup of milk. It says you mix it all up in the dry ingredients in a bowl, you mix the wet ingredients in a bowl, you combine them, and you put them in the refrigerator covered for at least an hour. 2 hours is okay, but no longer than that. Then it has the note about the deep frying. It also says prepare a cooling and draining surface by sticking a metal rack over a pan lined with paper towels. You will fry these candy bars one at a time and serve them the same way. That's to keep them from sticking together in the hot oil. You'll probably find that eager dessert eaters will line up in the kitchen to receive their treats. Take out a candy bar, unwrap it, and dip it in the chilled batter. Make sure it's completely covered by the batter. Slide it gently into the hot oil with your batter-covered fingers or with 2 forks and fry it for approximately 2.5 minutes or until nicely browned. Use a slotted metal spoon or a pair of tongs to remove the candy bar from the hot oil. Set the candy bar on the rack to drain and leave it there for at least a minute to cool. Then transfer it to a dessert dish or a plate to serve. When all the candy bars have been fried and eaten, you may have batter left over. If you do, dump it into a plastic bag, cut off the end, and squeeze it into the hot oil in a circular pattern. If you haven't guessed by this time, you're making funnel cake. Once the funnel cake is nicely browned, remove it from the oil, set it on the rack to drain, and then sprinkle it with powdered sugar. Yum. Warning, never leave hot oil or fat unattended. So, let's get the batter mixed up and we'll chill it for an hour. Here is everything we will need for our video today. Okay, so get a bowl. And it says to combine, so I assume we're stirring. It doesn't say anything about whisking. So we have the flour, the salt, baking soda, cream of tartar, and the sugar. I stir those up. And then it says to take the cup of milk and the egg, and we're going to whisk these together. Now it says to mix these together. This is our batter. We're just going to cover this and stick it in the fridge for an hour. Okay, so I took 3 of the candy bars out of the fridge, and I'm going to get them into the mixture while this oil hopefully heats up to 375. So I don't like getting my hands dirty. This is not enjoyable for me. I know it said you could use 2 forks, but not entirely sure how that would work either. Drop the heat down a little bit so it kind of stays in the 375 range. So 2 minutes. Now it says to take the rest of this batter and make a funnel cake. Here we have what we ended up with: 6 deep fried candy bars and 3 little funnel cakes. They're really good. Was it worth it? I don't know. They aren't like the most amazing thing ever. They're good. They're warm and ooey gooey. The batter itself has no flavor. It's literally just a vessel to fry your candy bar in. Really the only thing about them is they're ooey gooey and warm. So it is not something I personally would make again. They are pretty good. But so next week we are starting The Candy Cane Murder, which is book 9.5 in the series order. And we are going to be doing lemon whippersnappers, which whippersnappers are the ones I believe that are made out of the cake mix. So those should be pretty good. If you're interested, join us next week. I hope you all have a good one. Bye!